It might seem all sparkles here, but some investors in Africa are telling me they've had the worst 6 months they can remember. Commodity price crash, China slowdown, currency depreciation, some countries even imposing foreign currency controls. It's looking pretty tough. Now, I'm here at the FT's second FT Africa Summit here at Claridge's, and it's taking place in a decidedly more downbeat atmosphere than last year. But it's not all woes. Among the hundreds of investors who've come here, many are looking to seemingly irreversible trends and positive long-term prospects. Middle-class growth, urbanisation, and of course, those commodities are still there under the ground. While nobody agrees just how big Africa's middle class really is, one company, Coca-Cola, knows that it's growing. Their sales are up in single high digits every year in both East and West Africa. Kelvin Balogun said that he tailor-makes products for both the bottom of the pyramid and that middle class.
The middle class is different from the bottom of the pyramid. They want more convenience. They want a wider range of products across more categories, and we've got to be relevant to that. They're not as concerned about price point, I have to say, which is good for us because we have a lot more revenue and profit realization opportunities with them. But the bottom of the pyramid is a different challenge. You need to hit certain price points. You need to be affordable. You need to be available in certain channels, in certain occasions, and you have to execute that consistently well.
For manufacturers, the picture is far more gloomy. They have to contend with the global downturn and the impact of competition at home. Pradeep Panrana has seen $200 million plus knocked off the value of his cement company. He has to decide whether that's a short-term problem or whether manufacturing in Africa is doomed.
We've been affected by massive devaluation and increase in interest rates because of monetary policy to stabilize the exchange rate. But at the same time, it's a global phenomena. Commodity prices are falling, shipping rates are falling. Commodities and manufactured goods from China are coming into East Africa much cheaper than they used to, and it's putting huge pressure on local manufacturing industry. What do we need to do to be part of the global value chain? We need to be competitive. We need to be able to sell our products and have a choice in importing what we want to. But what does that mean? It's a whole transformation of industry that we need. Availability of land, availability of sources of financing, overcoming infrastructure challenges. 7 out of 10 containers which come into East Africa go back empty. Why can we not, for example, make a concession on our exports and use those very same containers with goods that we can manufacture in East Africa now? These are some of the preferential policies that I'm talking about. It does not have to be protectionism.
In the longer term, some argue that not only is the commodity cycle downturn a blip, but that it shouldn't even be Africa's focus. What really matters, they say, is jobs and trying to attract factory jobs from China to Africa as wages rise in China.
The key question for Africa right now is how do we attract some of these jobs in China, which are now looking for a new direction because of the rising wages inside China as the country moves from an export-led model to an import-led model. And those jobs are 50 million to 60 million. So the key question is, what does it take to attract those jobs into Africa? Not what is the price of copper or iron ore today. Infrastructure is key to bring down the cost of doing business and promote trade. Infrastructure is not an end in itself. It is a means to bring down cost of doing business, to connect countries, to make the markets more fluid. And that is the importance of looking at hard infrastructure and soft infrastructure. The things you have to do to ensure that the highways which are open actually lead to movement of people and merchandise by bringing down the man-made barriers to trade.
If the turnout is anything to go by, it's pretty obvious that investors are still keen on Africa. After all, they know and understand all too well that growth rates in the subcontinent still outstrip all regions bar one in the world. And that, in the end, may be what counts. Katrina Manson, Financial Times, at Claridge's.